Hey, it's your boy JJ Domination, and we are back with another Seattle Seahawks Realistic Connected Franchise episode. And we are on Monday Night Football. We are starting to get that primetime attention. Good looking out, NFL. We're going to be facing the Minnesota Vikings, who are only a game behind us and the standings overall for the playoffs. So this game could determine who has home field advantage throughout the playoffs, potentially. This game is going to be played in our building, home of the 12th man, as the Minnesota Vikings, led by Kirk Cousins, is going to come out here and, well, they're going to see what they can do. Bad news from last game, Frank Clark goes down to injury. He is going to be out for 6 weeks, and it's going to effectively end the regular season for him. Good news is Earl Thomas is returning, and he is going to get a chance to play. As you look at the standings, it is a wide open race. No one is particularly out of it just yet, with about 4 weeks to go in the NFL season. You can't rule anything out in this game. J.D. McKissic is going to be the return man, as Minnesota has deferred, and they are going to get the ball in the second half. Minnesota, of course, like we mentioned, a game behind Seattle. This game could determine a lot of different variables, so it's a must-win. J.D. McKissic back to receive it, and he is going to knee it down in the end zone. Russell Wilson and company are going to make their way onto the field now, and here's a look at Russell Wilson. As you see right there, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He's been pretty good on the season. You'd like to see him cut down the turnovers, but he's a man that's just trying to make it all work and make it all happen. First and 10 right here. Rashad Penny's going to be in the backfield, and this Minnesota defense, they're not playing any games. They are definitely going to be hard to handle. All-star caliber players, all-pro caliber players at every level. Here's Russell Wilson. He's going to hand it off to Rashad Penny, and he is met immediately by Andrew Sendejo and Sheldon Richardson. A gain of 2 right there for Rashad Penny. Here's a look at the offense for Seattle, led by Dwayne Brown and Justin Britt on the offensive line. And looking at the skilled position players, Doug Baldwin and J.D. McKissic lead an underrated group of pass catchers and rushers. It's going to be an interesting dynamic. Of course, all pro players at every level for this Minnesota Vikings defense. You have Everson Griffin, Anthony Barr, Xavier Rhodes, Harrison Smith. We'd be here all day trying to name players, but there's Rashad Penny, who catches the ball out of the backfield for a gain of 11, brought down by Eric Kendricks. And that will be a Seattle first down. Seattle, you know, they've been one of those teams, man, who have just surprised a lot of people this season, but they're going to have to continue to keep up the good work. Wilson brought down by his ankles for a gain of 4 on the rushing attempt right there. Let's take a look at this Vikings defense after the tackle from Everson Griffin. Speaking of Everson Griffin, he leads this defensive line group with all-pro talent all over the place. And here's Anthony Barr and then Eric Kendricks, who lead the linebacking corner. Of course, Xavier Rhodes and Harrison Smith to lead a very talented secondary. And here we go, man. Russell Wilson and company, they're going to come out. 3 receivers, 1 tight end. Shotgun formation, McKissic in the backfield. They give us to McKissic. Kendricks. He is going to get the gain of 4 right there. 3rd and 2 now. Upcoming here for Seattle. 2 tight ends are now in the game. Will Dissly has entered. You see Rhodes over there on the far sideline, and there's Penny powering his way ahead through Sheldon Richardson. He's just giving it his all right there on that 3-yard carry. Richardson, of course, a former Seattle Seahawk. This is kind of a revenge game for him, even though it was only a 1-year stay here in the home of the 12th man. Russell Wilson with the give. They're going to go with the stretch. Penny, he's got an opening. Penny's got an opening, and what a run from Rashad Penny for a touchdown right there. A nice little spin move, and I mean, he just took advantage right there. DJ Fluker was late on the assignment trying to block the linebacker, but A shifty spin move and just a quick burst of acceleration is all Rashad Penny needed. And you see Kendrick slips right there, and the only man that could catch him is Trey Waynes, but he comes up just short. That's one hell of a rushing touchdown right there for Rashad Penny, his 8th on the season. And what has been a season where he's had to earn every single touch in this offense. J.D. McKissick was the man. Of course, Chris Carson, people are very high on him within the organization. And of course, Mike Davis, he doesn't get any touches these days, but Seattle's been doing so good with 3 running backs, he doesn't need to. But it's always good to have a rotation at running back, guys who can do everything for your offense. Speaking of offenses, here comes Kirk Cousins for the Minnesota Vikings. 13 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Cousins, of course, the first player to get a fully guaranteed contract in the NFL with a 3-year, $84 million contract. That is $27 million per year for those who are good at math and keep track of the numbers. 1st and 10 right here. You also got to keep your eyes on guys like Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, 2 of the most talented receivers in the league and arguably the best tandem of receivers. Diggs underneath, he is going to be brought down by Marcus Smith, the second, who will be filling in today for Frank Clark and for the next 6 weeks, hopefully, barring injury. Diggs, who is coming off a 5-catch performance for 86 yards. He has his first grab there for a gain of 6, and as you see right there in the middle of the field, number 29, Earl Thomas is back in action for the first time in a while. Cousins is going to hike the football. He's going to throw it to Kyle Rudolph. He is brought down by KJ Wright. And Kirk Cousins already 2 for 2, just taking what the defense gives him in the zone coverage scheme. Seattle will run a lot of zone coverage, but they would not be afraid to man up today. They're going to have to against a really good receiving core. Cousins, he's going to give the ball to Dalvin Cook, and he is met immediately on the play. Well, speaking of Dalvin Cook, we're going to take a look at his offensive personnel, and Riley Reif and Mike Remmers lead the offensive line crew, and of course, arguably the best receiving core in the NFL, or tandem, I should say, Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen, with 2nd-year running back Dalvin Cook. 2nd and 8 right here, 3 receiver, 1 tight end look. Here we go, a counter play, but Wagner, nobody's fooled by that one. A 3-yard carry for Dalvin Cook, so he is able to inch his way a little closer. Here's a look at that Seattle defense. Marcus Smith filling in for Frank Clark today. Bobby Wagner, the leader in the middle, one of the best middle linebackers in football, if not the best. And Earl Thomas returning the action for the first time in a while, it seems like. And here we go, man. Rudolph and Cook in the backfield. And Dalvin Cook is going to shake off a linebacker, and he's brought down by Justin Coleman. So they go man coverage right there, and the linebacker just missed his assignment on Dalvin Cook. Two tight ends, CeeDee Lamb, or CJ Lamb, I should say, or CJ Ham, I'm sorry, I'm messing up his name, but Latavius Murray loses 3 right there. I was trying to say CJ Ham was in motion, and Latavius Murray was going to take the handoff right there, but he ends up losing 3 as I try to stumble that sentence out of my mouth. Stephon Diggs. Over there on the other side of the field, Dalvin Cook. And Kirk Cousins is going to bomb it away, and what a bat down from Maurice Alexander. I think he tried to pick it off, but nickel corner Justin Coleman was trying to cover Stephon Diggs on that play action pass. And here comes Kirk Cousins. It's 3rd and 13. Only so many different plays you can come up with, and what a route by Stephon Diggs. And Dion Jordan goes down with an injury. That is not good. Dion Jordan, the complimentary defensive end to Frank Clark, and filling in for him is going to be Rashawn Green, who was almost cut in the preseason. Dalvin Cook now going to try to run the ball, redirect himself, and he is brought down by Jaron Reed. He's going to push forward for about a gain of 2. And Deion Jones will not be returning. Broken ribs. He is done for the day. That was a pretty fast report right there. I thought there'd be a chance he possibly plays. Kendall Wright isolated to the left side of the field right there. Cousins, shotgun formation, high snap. He gives it to Dalvin Cook. Good block right there from Diggs. And there is going to be a penalty. Let's see what the official says. And they're going to get Shaquille Griffin for the face mask right there. And the Vikings are going to accept the penalty. That'll be 1st and goal now at the 10-yard line. Seattle scored pretty quickly. It was like a 4-play drive. Minnesota slow and methodical. They know what they want to do. And here's Kirk Cousins now. He is going to take the snap. And Thielen just working Shaquille Griffin right there. And Adam Thielen has been absolutely balling this season. Thielen, who just ran a pretty damn good curl route, it looked like, and you know, Shaquille Griffin was just nowhere to be found. He was 5 yards back in his own end zone, trying to figure out where to go. Extra point pending here from Kai Forbath, and that is going to go straight down the middle. It is 7-all after a 10-play drive from Minnesota. Slow and methodical, a good mix of runs and passes. We'll see what Seattle comes out here and wants to do. Amar Darboh, he is going to call the fair catch, 6 yards back in his own end zone. And we are going to see Russell Wilson come out, and Rashad Penny, who had a very impressive touchdown run in this game. A reminder of the playoff hunt, of course. No one can possibly be ruled out. A lot of teams still in play. Even the teams in the hunt can overtake the competition at any moment. You see the Packers right there at 7-5. You look at Minnesota, they're 8-4. Depending on the season series for the Packers and Vikings, Green Bay could be the 3rd or 4th best team in the NFC when this is all said and done. A toss play right there. Fluker misses the block, but Penny is able to get about 2 yards, brought down by Harrison Smith. But back to what I was saying, a very important game for both sides. A loss and a win from a divisional rival could knock them down to a wild card spot. A lot at stake here for all parties involved. And Anthony Barr almost picked that off. That was a quick throw to Doug Baldwin, and Barr read it like a book. Very dangerous right there. Anthony Barr had that one well scouted. And here is Russell Wilson, who is going to throw it to Doug Baldwin. Nice one-handed catch working on Xavier Rhodes. Xavier Rhodes, a primary corner, but right there was playing within the area of Doug Baldwin. Last week we saw Richard Sherman playing Doug Baldwin the entire game, so a lot of corners are starting to take Doug Baldwin more serious as the season goes on. Rashad Penny just powers ahead, man, going up against a really tough defensive line today in Minnesota. All 4 of those guys, you know, have been all-pro players before. It's not crazy to say when you're talking about this Minnesota Vikings defense. And it's a play action. Wilson gonna lay it out for Doug Baldwin. Baldwin slipped on the route, it looked like, but he lays out for the ball. That's his 2nd catch of the game and Russell Wilson's 3rd completion as the first quarter ends 7-all. Anyone's game right now as far as I'm concerned. Here we are returning into the 2nd quarter. Seattle at Minnesota's 40-yard line right now. Lockett in motion on the right side. Keep an eye on him. A good catch from Baldwin, but he's only going to get 1 yard. Russell Wilson didn't see anything opening up just yet, so he just dumps it off to Tyler Lockett. Only a gain of 1, but could have been a lot worse. Who knows? Russell Wilson with the give to Rashad Penny, and he is going to get about 2 yards right there. After that one long run, they are not allowing him to escape or get any sort of wiggle room, which is not good if you're Rashad Penny. I mean, you were enjoying every second of it, and now you're not catching any breaks. Russell Wilson, it's a 3-man front. And Russell Wilson couldn't deliver the throw right there, but he was looking for Tyler Lockett. 4th and 7. Janikowski is going to try the field goal. It's a 54-yarder from this range. The Seabass have the leg, and he just sneaks it in there. We've seen Janikowski miss a few field goals this season. Some in crunch time, some just to start the game. And that was a huge one in the rain right there for Sebastian Janikowski, a 54-yarder. And now Seabass kicks it deep to Latavius Murray. He is going to take a knee. Typically, we don't see Latavius Murray returning kicks, but the Vikings believe he has the extra juice in the return game that this team could use after departing from Cordell Patterson a couple of years ago. Kirk Cousins, 2 tight ends, and Cook in the backfield. They're going to give it to Dalvin Cook, and he's met by Mo Alexander, another one of those free agents on the defensive side of the ball who will be looking for a new contract at the end of the season. Seattle just trying to play football at the moment. They're not talking contracts with anyone. They just want to play the season out. That is the move for Seattle. A run to Latavius Murray, and he is going to fall forward, going up against Marcus Smith right there. Here's a little story about Marcus Smith, a former first-round pick out of Philadelphia. He did not work in Philadelphia, finds his way into Seattle, and here he is taking advantage of an opportunity with the Frank Clark injury, and Latavius Murray gets the first down, a gain of 5, brought down by Wagner. But yeah, Marcus Smith taking advantage of an opportunity. No Frank Clark in this one. He's not going to be back for 6 weeks. A former first-round pick was a bust with Philadelphia. Has an opportunity here to make some plays. And Cousins going to throw it underneath to Kendall Wright, the former Tennessee Titan. And Justin Coleman going to bring him down. Cousins has been pretty sharp this game. 6 of 7 for 56 yards. Not too shabby, I must say. One tight end in the game, Cousins. High snap, he's going to give it to Dalvin Cook, and Marcus Smith, or not even Marcus Smith, excuse me, Barkevius Mingo, who we have seen line up as a linebacker and as a defensive end. Just a guy who could do a little bit of everything. Of course, he was a former top 10 pick from the Cleveland Browns. Here we go, 3rd and 2, I formation. And they give it to Dalvin Cook, and he is going to be met by Earl Thomas. Cook averaging 5 yards a carry now after that long run. Seattle's 3rd down defense. If they want to get the football and keep adding to this lead, they're going to have to get these guys off the field. Cousins now. He's going to call an audible, and a big fumble from Dalvin Cook, and Jaron Reed lays out for it. Bobby Wagner came in and laid the wood on Dalvin Cook. I mean, he just shoots up the A-gap and absolutely blasts him. And Jaron Reed, who was there at the right time, able to make a play on it. What a hit from Bobby Wagner. That could be a game changer right there for the Seattle Seahawks. We'll have to see what they do with this possession. Tyler Lockett in motion right there, and J.D. McKissick, they're going to bring him in to change things up, and that's his 2nd carry of the game, and he gets about 10 or 11 on that carry. J.D. McKissick, more of a receiving back, but they love to give him carries in between the tackles as well. He's also an impending free agent. But he has been great this season for Seattle. A nice spin move. He takes a good angle on Ben Gideon, but he's brought down by Ben Gideon. A potential touchdown saving tackle from Ben Gideon. Look at this. Just a simple out route, a spin move. Gideon takes a bad angle, but he just hustles down there to grab him by the hip and bring him down. A gain of 33 for McKissick. Chris Carson. We have a Chris Carson sighting, but Anthony Barr trying to send him back to the bench. Anthony Barr comes through, and it's no gain for Chris Carson. Chris Carson, of course, a low carry guy. He's just going to come in and power his way through. 2nd and 10 right here. And Nick Vannett, good job against Anthony Barr. He gets the touchdown. A dangerous throw if you ask me, but that is Nick Vannett's first receiving touchdown. Seattle taking advantage of that turnover right there. The Dalvin Cook fumble that was picked up by Jaron Reed just resulted in a drive that was set up by J.D. McKissick and finished off by Nick Vannett. That was a risky pass from Russell Wilson, but he saw the opportunity to make the play, and he just went with his gut and made the throw. 2 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the second quarter. Minnesota could make something happen. They also have the 2-minute warning as an extra timeout in their back pocket. Murray going to be back there again. He'll take a knee 6 yards deep in the end zone. And Kirk Cousins is going to come out here with his offense. The one positive for Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, they are moving the ball effectively against the Seattle defense. Of course, with a couple of injuries on the defensive line, like Frank Clark and now Deion Jordan, that is going to lead to these things happening, which has caused Shaquille Griffin to come into the game, as you saw right there on the defensive line on the left side of the screen. Shaquille Griffin, who has been a special teamer, a former 5th-round pick from UCF. You'll see him come in for certain packages. Really a special team player, but what a story. Only one hand. Tremendous player in college, by the way, if I do say so. Cousins going to take a deep shot. Diggs lays out for it, but I think it's incomplete. 2-minute warning now. That was a great play from Diggs. I'm surprised they're not going to review it. I know it's inside 2 minutes. You can't throw a challenge flag, but if I'm Seattle, if I'm Minnesota, I at least want a review. No review coming. Cousins over the middle to Dalvin Cook, and Wagner was trying to make him fumble again. But Dalvin Cook hanging on there. Kendall Wright lines up as the tight end. Interesting look as they try to scramble back to the line. Cousins throws a low pass to Dalvin Cook, and Cook running over Griffin for extra yardage. And what a play from Wagner. Wagner, who already has a forced fumble and an interception in this game now. And Seattle, they have a chance to go up either 20-7 or 24-7. A huge opportunity presented by Wagner again. And Tyler Lockett, it's a fake end around. And there's Russell Wilson. Shrugs the hit off from Ben Gideon. Shrugs another hit from Eric Kendricks. And Andrew Sendejo brings him down near field goal range. This is where Seabass was last time to hit the 54-yarder. Baldwin can't quite make the catch. It was on his chest for a while. It's Eric Pokic. Or Pokic is down right there with an injury. Baldwin being covered by Xavier Rhodes right there on the play. And a pick to a defensive lineman, Daniil Hunter, comes away with the interception. He was looking for Will Dissly. Pokic just going to be okay, but Russell Wilson throwing one of those picks, he was absolutely baited into another mistake. Dalvin Cook right there with the draw. And what a play from Alexander. What a hit to the lower body of Dalvin Cook. A 2 tight end look again as Morgan enters the game. Cousins now in shotgun. Dalvin Cook still in the game. It's going to be a pass. And a play to Adam Thielen right there. And Griffin again getting beat off the ball. And Alexander now, he's going to try to help out on Thielen. And what a hit from Alexander, forcing the ball out from Rudolph's hands. Could have been a first down potentially. What a play right there. Same formation, same personnel. What will Kirk Cousins do? Another pass. And a tackle from Alexander right there on Diggs. And there's Rudolph and Morgan. Morgan now is going to get the pass, and the Vikings take a timeout. And they're going to have a chance at a field goal right here. This is about a 26-yarder from this distance. Pretty easy chip shot right here, and Kyle Forbath is going to make it. 13 seconds left for Seattle. I don't know what you can do in this situation, but oh, it's going to be down at the 1. McKissick, what are you doing? McKissick thought that was going to be down inside the 20, but it's not. It's down inside the 1. J.D. McKissick could have costed this team. But here is Rashad Penny, who is going to try to make the most out of a bad situation. Penny gets 10 yards right there, but McKissick, when he called the fair catch, he thought it was going to count for being inside the 25, but instead it's at the 1. Terrible look right there. And Baldwin gonna lay out for it, and he almost had it. Good effort right there from Wilson. Just give it a shot, you know. It is the end of the half after all, and now Seattle is gonna have to kick it to Minnesota. Minnesota 3 points off of takeaways. Seattle with 13 points, I should say. No, not 13. 10 points off of takeaways. So this has been a very interesting game, similar to the 49ers game where, you know, Seattle came off of that loss. The deficit in which they lost by were all points off of turnovers for the 49ers. Cousins now. A counter to Murray. Little hesitation running. Nazir Jones is there to make the play. It's going to be a loss of 1 for Latavius Murray. 3 receiver, 1 tight end set. Kyle Rudolph, is going to be on the left side. Isn't Kevin Rudolph an artist? But there's Dalvin Cook. Not a run. That was the perfect picture for him. Nazir Jones again stuffing that middle. Diggs and Thielen are going to be lined up on one side. That is very interesting. Cousins now. He's going to hike the football. And Cousins going to throw it to Diggs, but Diggs couldn't keep his momentum in to get a first down. It's going to be 4th and 4. Watch out for the fake. No gimmicks here. And Lockett, he's going to field it. And Lockett tried to break that tackle, but he's going to be down at the 27. A 14-yard return for Tyler Lockett. Russell Wilson now coming out after throwing an interception to Danielle Hunter, a guy who just seems to be able to do everything. Russell Wilson hands it off right there to J.D. McKissick, and he gets absolutely leveled. The difference is he's not Dalvin Cook. He didn't fumble. He was able to hang on to the football. 2nd and 9. Here we go. Russell Wilson looking for his guy, Tyler Lockett. Good play from Ben Gideon. Was able to get repositioned to make the tackle. We were a little worried right there. He had Trey Waynes beat, him being Tyler Lockett, but would Ben Gideon turn around in time? And the answer is yes. And here's Russell Wilson, who is going to dive for the first down. He was brought down there by Trey Waynes and Eric Kendricks. Every time you see Russell Wilson run, you should know that he is going to be able to make a play. But on the flip side, you have to be nervous. Anybody can fumble in this league. And Rashad Penny going to use that leverage and penetration. Wait, he was never down. Yes, he was. He gains about 3 yards right there. That leverage was able to help him out. McKissick is going to enter the game now. We have seen him a few times. Quite a few times. He's been a heavy contributor. And Wilson going to just throw that away. He looked like he had something open, but you don't want to force it if you're Russell Wilson. 3rd and 7. Jerron Brown in the game for Lockett. And there he is, Nick Vannett. On 3rd down, he gets the ball immediately. It's almost like Russell Wilson knew, based on the coverage, where he was going with that football. And that's Vannett's 2nd catch. Of course, the first catch was a 12-yard touchdown, which is absolutely good to see. And here's Rashad Penny. He tries to cut it outside. Sendejo meets him there before he can make the next cut. No gain on the play, which you hate to see if you're Seattle. I mean, you've been mixing it up all day. 50-50 in the run-pass play calling. You definitely want to see the results. And Russell Wilson takes a sack from Anthony Barr. He tried to get the ball off, but the plays just did not develop in time. A good play from Anthony Barr right there. He is a blitzer and he is a pass coverage guy as well. He's pretty good at both if you pay attention to the film. And Wilson, he was looking for Tyler Lockett, and he gets met by Everson Griffin. The pass rush is starting to get there to Minnesota. We talked about how good their defensive line was, but it's all a matter of can they get the pressure. They've been getting ran on all day today, and now they're finally getting the pressure. Not a good punt from Michael Dixon. Couldn't get the spin he wanted on the football. So Seattle, the defense, is back on the field, and the Vikings start at their own 20. Ideal field position for them. Cousins now. Quick throw to Diggs, and it's incomplete. What a hit from Wagner. Wagner already with an interception and a forced fumble in this game. He has been very active in this football game. It's almost like he's playing with more energy because his boy Earl Thomas is back, and it's great to see. Kirk Cousins in the pistol formation. He's going to take the hike. He's going to throw it to Diggs. He gets hit by KJ Wright, but he hangs onto the football. Good job right there from Stephon Diggs. Normally when guys get hit like that, they're not hanging onto the football. Cousins. Uh-oh, what a run from Dalvin Cook. Cook able to avoid the pressure. And Mo Alexander comes up short, and Dalvin Cook, after the fumble he had in the first half, he is taking it to the end zone. A heck of a run for him. Dalvin Cook making that fumble just a thing of the past as he blows by the entire defense to get into the end zone, and now we have ourselves a tied ball game. Good job from the Vikings. Still making this a ball game. 2 turnovers, but they have been making things interesting all game long. And Amara Darbo now takes this to the 26-yard line. He was brought down right there by Mark Sherrill. The Seattle Seahawks, they are back on the field. They've been running the ball good, not recently, but they've been running it good. And he tries to cut back inside. He may have lost a yard. Eric Kendricks was there. This team's not used to running it outside the numbers. They like to just run it inside. They get good leverage. But they've been trying to run it outside. They've had success early on in the game, and I think that's been a factor. They're trying to just keep doing it, but eventually it's not going to work. And what a pullback right there from Sheldon Richardson. I don't think Rashad Penny got but a yard. Not a good look right there for Seattle. The offensive linemen are starting to get beat. They played a damn near perfect first half, and now they're just getting beat off the line completely. And Wilson not able to pick up the first down. What do you do? I guess the smart thing would be to punt it. And Dixon now. He's going to punt it to Stephon Diggs. He can make a man miss too. And that time he was brought down by Shaquem Griffin, who has been a terrific special teamer this season. Two tight end look, pistol formation right here for Cousins. He's going to turn around and fake it to Dalvin Cook. Cousins now. Oh, and Thomas almost had the pick, but he got tripped up by Stephon Diggs, who was also laying out for the football. Earl Thomas right there could have had an interception, but late reaction time, and he got tripped up by Diggs. It's as simple as that. Cousins now, shotgun. He's going to try to throw it, and what a play from Dante Johnson. Another one of those secondary players, good depth guy. He is also facing a contract extension. I know you don't like to hear about contract extensions potentially while the team is still playing, but it is something that will continue to come up. So it's good to address the elephant in the room. Cousins tries to throw it. He gets a low ball off the Cook, and he is brought down by Bobby Wagner. And just like that, we're on to the fourth quarter. It's 4th and 3, and it looks like Minnesota's going to punt this thing away. This game is up for grabs, and Seattle needs to take it while they have the opportunity to take it. What a play right there from Lockett. He gets to almost midfield as he's brought down by Keith Brothers. Russell Wilson, I mean, he needs to rally the troops. I mean, this is his quarter for the taking. And he's going to give it to Rashad Penny, just straight up the middle. And Penny, he's having a good day overall, averaging almost 7 yards a carry. Of course, he had that one big run early on, kind of averaging around 4 yards a carry since then, but 4 yards a carry for 3 plays is a first down. So those are not bad numbers at all. And he is wrestled down again. This time it's by Everson Griffin, powering his way ahead for 7 yards. Sticking to your roots. No more gimmicky plays. Just pound the football up the middle. I think Pete Carroll has made a slight adjustment to the game plan. No more of these outside handoffs and tosses. Just run it between the tackles. And as you can see, Penny gets a 4-yard gain. He's brought down by Anthony Barr. Maybe a 5-yard gain, excuse me. I mean, they're going to have to continue to run the football. You can melt some clock. You could potentially get a score. You're in field goal range. Bass already hit one from this range earlier. And you only get about a yard or two right there. 3rd and 4. Gonna see what these guys can do. Russell Wilson right here on 3rd and 4. You're gonna have to be smart about it. No mistakes. Let's see what happens. And Russell Wilson, he's just gonna take it out of bounds right there. Do the smart thing. He gets the run. Lockett able to make a block right there, and he's just going to take it out of bounds. And Carroll trying to get a word in with Wilson about the run right there. Wilson, a handoff here to Rashad Penny, and he's going to get about 2 yards, maybe 3 yards away from having a 100-yard game. I know that's got to be in the back of his head. Two tight ends, two receivers. You also have Rashad Penny, who is able to get a good angle on Ben Gideon, but he's able to bring him down. Rashad Penny gets about a gain of 9 right there on the reception. That's his second catch of the game. Remember, he started the game with a catch. Very interesting right there. Chris Carson's in the game. This is his second time being in the game, and he's trying to fight, but no gain. It's hard coming in, man, especially as a power back for Carson, because once he comes in, you kind of already know what the team is going to be doing, them being Seattle. He's a bigger running back. They're going to use his size to try to combat in those heavy sets. The ball's out, and Pokic is going to lay on it. Pokic. I keep screwing up his name. It's okay, I guess. Russell Wilson fumbling right there. Looks like he got hit by Linval Joseph. And here is Doug Baldwin. Baldwin, what a hell of a catch right there, being covered by Anthony Barr and Terrence Newman. You just see Russell Wilson rolling out, and he has to make a play. That's a big play right there. That keeps the drive going. You don't take 3 points then. You just get 6 instead, and Rashad Penny is in the end zone for a second time today. And this time, he's going to take him bowling. Minnesota striking out when it comes to stopping this man in the red zone. That's his first touchdown in the red zone, but he has 2 today, so the man is making the most of his touches. Janikowski, extra point is good. It's a 1-possession game. 5 minutes milked off the clock in 11 plays. The majority of them were runs. Now Janikowski's going to kick it off. Latavius Murray back there, he's not going to have a chance. He's going to take a knee right there. And now Kirk Cousins is going to have to come out, and we'll see what the $84 million quarterback can do against the Seattle defense. He's been able to move the ball on him. No interceptions, which is a good thing. But it hasn't been the prettiest of days for him. And what a hit from Earl Thomas, but Wright is able to hang on to the ball. And my mistake, actually, Bobby Wagner did have the interception. Excuse me. Pretty much a good game overall from Cousins. Look at that 5-man front that Seattle's bringing. They rushed 3. And Thielen going to make a 4-yard gain right there. Coleman is going to have to come back and touch him down. Rudolph and Dalvin Cook are in the backfield. Split backfield right now for Cousins. Shotgun. Looks like a screen pass, and it is. Thomas tries to get there, not in time. Dante Johnson will bring him down for a first down for Dalvin Cook. A gain of 8. 2-minute warning now for Seattle and Minnesota. Minnesota in field goal range, but they need a touchdown to tie things up and make things interesting. 1st and 10 here for Kirk Cousins. Let's see what he's made of on this drive. And Bobby Wagner again. His second interception. Kirk Cousins has thrown 2 picks, both of them to Bobby Wagner. 3 turnovers total. Bobby Wagner has all 3. What a hell of a game for Bobby Wagner. It's been one of those days for him. An all-pro linebacker showing you why he's all-pro. Putting on a clinic today. And Carson just bulldozing ahead for 6. Finally a good run for Chris Carson. You love to see Chris Carson just come in and Try to bulldoze through people, try to bully people. And Carson again, he's brought down this time for a gain of 2. My bad there, I didn't know my controller even died, but here we are, 3rd and 2. It's a fumble and we lay out for it, good job. If the recording sounds messed up, I'm charging my controller. I didn't even know it needed to be charged, but that's a weird flex. My controllers are always charged, which is weird. But here we are. We've already killed the clock, and now it's time for Carson to just pad some stats. 5 rushes for 15 yards for the big man. My mistake with the controller dying, by the way. Did not expect that to happen, but here we are. Chris Carson again gonna take the carry. I think he got just short of a first. We'll see where they spot it. And it is going to be 3rd and inches. Probably the last play of the game. J.D. McKissick is going to come in. And there you have it, Seattle. Gonna win this much needed, gonna get a much needed win. This was a must win for Seattle. And they absolutely come out here and get it. Very good performance from them. 3 takeaways from Bobby Wagner, which led to this victory. Minnesota had a chance at the end right there, but Wagner just making a play once again. Seattle able to run the ball consistently. Were able to throw some passes when need be, even though Russell Wilson had the silly interception. I mean, that's what tells the story. Another great rushing performance. 172 yards as a team. The Vikings were pretty good offensively as a team. They had more average yards per play and more passing yards, but that scoreboard and the takeaways, they tell a different story. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series up to this point. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and peace.